Yo, what is good? My enterprise for what is good, yo? So, man, I picked Thanos for this week's episode because I wish I could just snap my fingers and all the people that I hate disappear, right? Not only did we get to see what this show is really capable of with the characters, the narrative, but they're really showcasing how dumb uh, the outside is, right? Like the people who aren't really being, dealt the hand of dealing with whatever this fate is that they keep going through. They just live their lives every single day normally, unless they get involved with someone else. We're starting to see a huge change because of how, excuse me, we're starting to see a big change because of how everything is being handled, how things are being pushed forward. And I think that's a really smart way of doing this show in general, because not only do you have to, give an idea as to where everything's going to go at the end of the day, but once you give that idea and you snap this world out of existence, um, you really just end up right back where you started. And that's kind of the even scarier part of this whole entire situation is it doesn't matter what you do or how you do it. For some reason, you're gonna go right back to an area where any and all of this is possible to start back up. And that's what actually freaks me out about all of this in general. All of that being said, it's super easy to know that whoever continuously push forwards and tries to actually, change what they're doing. And I apologize for the garbage truck in the back. I always forget that Thursday is when our garbage gets picked up, and they're pretty loud. Um, but knowing that this whole entire world is pretty much banking on these weird situational moments where uh, once one day happens, and depending on what what transpires on that day, it really just happens to formulate around these girls, right? Like we haven't seen anyone else be the focal point of this curse, be the focal point of what we're seeing in the grand scheme of them being attacked, right? Like for instance, the cop. We've seen the cop in pretty much everything, and like I was saying, one of my other reviews, the one thing you got to look out for is the stuff that actually keeps showing up every single time to have you know, somewhat of an effect on these moments. Because why is it that the cop guy's there every time? Um, why is it that the guy who we're following mostly is always a part of these situations? He's never not a part of these situations. These are just the types of things they easily line up uh, for us, the audience, to have maybe a reaching point, right? Like, what do you think it means when only a couple of reoccurring things happen? The one thing that hasn't happened in this situation, excuse me. The only one thing that hasn't happened that's been happening is also Rika doing her ritual dance and like the festival going on and all that stuff. I think two times now with the twins, the two pretty twins, and this situation are the two times we can honestly say the festival didn't even come up. Like the festival was skipped. Rika doing the dance and all that stuff got skipped. So there are things that are changing around them. It just now comes down to the whole entire point of why. Why, and is that a good thing? Because as we can see, Rika is ecstatic. she is so happy that things are being torn apart and broken down step by step just because of the words she's hearing from our main guy, which maybe Rika is still like the true medium between them and the actual curse, you know? Because I think that's where the thing is watching all this from, which makes sense why Rika is so adamant about getting in front of everybody else and kind of just, if she has a chance to stop people and knows what's going to happen, she usually does it, right? Like she's like, oh, look, someone's about to do something. And then she just shows up. For instance, the teacher was Rika didn't know what she was gonna do. She didn't know she was gonna go in there and tell them that they can't do any of that stuff. So what does she do? She approaches her first and makes sure she puts in all the words she can to make it clear that they're going through with this and there's nothing you can really stop. And if you do try to stop them, that's just not what you should do. The teacher joins, you know. So that's what Rika's always been doing. She's always been going to somebody somewhere at a time and kind of getting in front of them to stop them from either doing something or telling someone something. So I'm really interested in seeing how they're going to continue to play this. This thing's like 24 episodes or like 26 episodes, so we're barely scratching the surface, which is the craziest part to me. That we haven't really even. We're barely scratching halfway, right? Like, that's crazy to me. That's so crazy to me. But anyway, I hope you guys are having an amazing one. We are definitely in for a show with this one, and I will talk to y'all in the next one. Alright, peace. Ow. Bruh. Bruh.